Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Once again, I'm Nev from Nev's Tack Pets, otherwise known as your friendly neighborhood basement dweller. Don't worry, ma'am, I am from the internet. Today we're checking out Popular Mechanics from March 1981. I love the colors that have that retrofuturism thing. Of course, the retrofuturism was a term coined by someone way back in the day, talking about how we thought the future was going to look. And you can see one great example of that. They got silly things on here, like a front wind flap. I really should know the name of that. I want to put one on those cars just for shits and giggles now. And you can tell that this was definitely used by a real mechanic because we got his finger. We got his prints there, Bobby. Free super razor for the macho shave. Some things never change. I swear there's some kind of thing with razors. I want one of those. A Dodge Ram. My ex's parents always had one. They didn't work on it too much. The thing was old, but it seemed to like it lasted forever. I want one of those, and I want a Helix. If I ever get rich, that's what I'm getting. And someone had mentioned before, there's a remarkable amount of alcohol advertisements in here. And when I looked at these magazines, I like to look back and think about how time was back then and how people were versus how time is and how people are right now. Now, one thing that I want to point out about alcohol is alcoholism definitely seems to have been with us since almost, before religion. Like, we had, did we have cigarettes before Babylon? We had alcohol before Babylon, but did we have smokes? I gotta say, a lot of these guys look like they were just hit with a pressure washer so that they didn't actually have any. Oh, wait, I think they missed some dirt under it. Yep, we've actually got some dirt. They didn't manage to get out. There's a Lincoln. Oh, man, tragic story. So my ex-wife's grandpa died, and she had a Lincoln. I thought this was a classic car, and he left it to my ex-wife. Now, there was a dispute and the youngest son wanted it. We just gave it over because we thought that it was a retro car. Of course it wasn't. It was a new car, and the son that begged for it and cried for it, the brother that begged and cried for it, took it out, revved the engine. He didn't check to see what the oil was, and he blew the thing out. Only recently did I find out that wasn't really a classic car. It was a new car. But I gotta say, he's an excellent uncle to the kids. I gotta say, guys, you can be a shitty brother, but an excellent uncle. Sometimes the craziest uncles are the best. I gotta say, look at this. Look at the finish on the wall. Okay, so we've lowered the ceilings here at this point. Like, this is probably a standard, or is this a new house? I'm thinking this is an older Victorian house, and we brought the ceilings down with these tiles, which would be better for the heat for the individuals in the area, I suppose. But we have metal on the wall. We have metal on the wall. Huh. Oh, hell, that is fun. Two weed whackers working together to take down grass. That is oh, it's an electric. I bet this is one of the early versions of electric. That would have been a lot easier to pull off than one of those giant blades swinging around, eh? Okay, that makes more sense. With a GMC, you don't take your lumps at a pump. What the hell is that? I'm guessing it's a gas tank, but I don't know. Oh, legit, guys, this is a weird one, but I finally managed to find a full-service gas station. It freaked me out. I got out of the car, and people came out of the place and started approaching me. I was like, what's going on here? It was a new place, a little bit sketchy. But yeah, full service still exists. Somewhere in my mind, I romantically always thought that when I became a father, somehow the universe would provide one of these Woodies for me. Legit though, what happened to the station wagon? Did we all get American and overpowered and decided that we needed to change our trucks into station wagons? Or sorry, change our cars into trucks. No, yeah, change our trucks into station wagons because that's all these SUVs are. Now when I see a truck like this, I think That's probably going to be reliable. That's probably going to get me from point A to point B. I'll probably be able to drive through a zombie Armageddon and not get stuck because of a software upgrade coming your way. It's so interesting to see, as far as technology goes, a scattered past with multiple different operating systems, multiple different everything. Pocket stereos, make it big. All right, so with these small cassettes, there's two different versions of the small cassette. You can get one that Sony makes, and if you can find those small cassettes, they are worth so freaking much. And I think it's because investigators, insurance, and police still use this stuff. I had a cop coming to, he wanted information for investigation in another city, and I had them in, and I was real surprised to see them put one of these down on the table. On a side note, I felt really bad because I didn't realize it at the table, but I had a Coke table. I had a glass table, and apparently if you have a glass table, that's what people do the cocaine's on. The cocaine. All right, so here's an advertisement pointing at the beauty of the magazines that we are losing. Now, this is absolutely disgusting, but it is also absolutely real, and they've managed to take this real disgusting thing and make it somewhat beautiful in a picture, because this is just a hell that guys have to deal with. Let's face it, I think that's a really good idea. Would have never thought of that one. But yeah, they made it look really good too. Anyways, I never even heard of this thing. Now, we wouldn't have advertisements for things like this because we have such a throwaway society. What I think I'm noticing back here is we didn't have many things. We take care of the things that we have, though, and if something breaks, we fix it. We don't just buy another one. But things have changed now. Holy hell, check this out. I've seen these things before. This is, okay, you got a Walkman that doesn't have radio. So you put in this adapter cassette thing, and then all of a sudden your Walkman becomes a radio. Talk about the old tech we'll never use again, eh? X-ray vision helps you see through walls. It's one of the earliest ones that I've seen. Of course, it would be a Black & Decker too, wouldn't it? Okay. I should have known I would have seen this eventually. Build your own. All right. Oh, yes, my dear. Yes, would you like a cigarette? Yes, we're classy. You can tell because we're smoking inside. I want one. I want one. I want to assemble it myself. I have a feeling that we'll no longer be able to do this unless you sign a waiver, because instead of building things these days, we just sue other people that try and maybe make a mistake somehow. There is something seriously sexy about a woman on an overpowered machine. For some reason it bothers some guys, but to me it's sexy. It is so sexy. Now around here there's lots of Mennonite women that drive on the dual blade 0-point turn, whatever you call them, and they just like, I drive by and I'm like, oh, marry me. Now this woman, I don't think that she's wearing a bra. Does it matter? Yes, I'm a guy, and guys like boobs. Even gay dudes love boobs. I mean, if a girl with a nice set walked up to you and said, hey, you want to motorboat them? I think most guys would say, yes. And most women would say, I kind of do. Yes, thank you. If they're the type of individual that likes a hug. Any individual that likes a hug, yes, they'd like to motorboat those boobs. And I don't even care about the size of them. I still want to see them and try. Stuff like this really gets me in a positive way. There's nothing more important than taking care of the women and the children, right? Or the people that are destitute, can't help themselves. Like, there's a lot of people in the army and the military that get a lot of love, but I think the ones that seriously deserve the love are the ones that help women and children. There are some people in the military that don't do anything, that will get themselves hurt doing something stupid in their private life and act like it's a big deal. And instead of honoring those guys, I'd like to honor these ones like twice the amount. They're lovely, 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 lovely people. Sorry guys, I've had some personal experience with some jerks. They were all army. Like, I understand we need them to go across the pond and kick in faces and stuff, but when they come back over here, they shouldn't join the civilian police force. Anyways, here we go. Another image of some of the advertisements that we're losing. Holy frick, doesn't that look like just every one of those Apple things, right? Wow, just slam. Why do you never see any of those for Android too? That's interesting. Huh. Holy frick, I think this is the first time I've ever actually seen an advertisement for a running board. All right, that's classic and I love it. Now, there's two things I definitely notice in all of these popular mechanics. There's a lot of people advertising affordable helicopters. And you don't need licenses for it. Guys, have you, what could go wrong, right? Oh, it's the duck man again, man. Don't leave that man alone with that duck. You don't know where he hides those. And that's about the time that Bobby made peace with God. In an instant. His entire life flashed before his eyes, and then he realized he's Air Force, so all he's done is watched anime. How will the boys enjoy the furry conventions without me, he thought to himself. I'm supposed to be in air conditioning right now. I'm sorry, guys. I just love to rip on Air Force. They're awesome, though. They're all awesome. Holy shit, the flaps actually exist. I just want to walk up to it and touch it and brush it like it was a man's beard. Yes, I do see it. That's a penis. I always wanted one of these so I could make a little pool in the back. Oh my god, guys. Oh my god. Look, what? Whoa. Oh, I think I'm gonna... Okay, I need to change my pants. Sorry, there's just so much to be said about this. This is almost art here. We have basically a calculator that's hooked up to a modem that's directly connected to a rotary phone. There's something beautiful in it, like a jungle rat that tries to get up a tree and deal with all of the hells and perils that might be up there just to crack view beyond the canopy. It's just like so much effort, so much trial into kissing the bosom of technology in order to get onto the internet, in order to make one computer talk to another. I'm sorry, I'm overwhelmed. I'm geeking out here. Now your home computers can call other home computers. And what's really scary about this is the start of social media. And legit, guys, I'm a tech guy. Social media is fucked. Social media is so bad. We got so many, like the woke idealisms and the progressivisms and the feminism. We have feminisms that will die on the mountain, that will die there. And I'll be like, do you know the difference between third and fourth wave feminism? And they'll be like, no, there's waves. Who's Margaret Atwood? It's just like, what's going on? So the technology is beautiful, but the technology has been checked, it's been tried within, yes, it will work, no, it won't. Thomas Edison had to do things, but we have ideas that aren't really tested by reality because, let's face it, as men, our thing is to keep women and children away from the dangers of reality, but we can't keep them away from the dangers of what's on the computer, even when it comes down to pornography, abuse, and addiction, because we have legitimately facilitated an idea that we have the right to all of the information on this, and all of the information that we choose to believe is right. And if anyone chooses not to believe in the information that we believe, then they are gaslighting us, and they're narcissistic, and it's like bad code has come over the computers in order to infect our minds. But the potential, the idea is still beautiful. I'm sorry, guys, I'm ranting on a little much, but seriously, as someone who loves computers and technology, so much has been taken from us by social media. I should build a shed and lock myself in it away from social media and get some chickens. Yeah. You know what? I bet living with chickens would be more mentally healthy for me than living with social media. Now, I'll close with this. With technology and changes within societies, near me there was Durham Furniture in Hanover. In Hanover, it still has Dickies. That is also moving, though. But manufacturing was within my area, and within times that my father can remember, the 70s, you could get out of high school, get a job in manufacturing, and be married and have a house and one car by the end of the summer. And we can't do that anymore. We manufactured upholstery, they did, and cabinets, stuff like this. But over time, all that manufacturing was taken over to China. And the great leap forward had happened over there. And at the cost of many human lives and much human suffering, I want to underscore that, much human suffering, manufacturing became much cheaper over in China. And because of that, many jobs were lost. Now, ultimately, in all of that, our children can't get housing. We've made too many goddamn rules. Instead of popular mechanics being a thing, in order for us to be able to go out there and get our things, we can't. We have rules now. We don't do anything. We sue people that do things and maybe screw up in doing it. And in doing that, we have also let social media in. That's given us another set of rules of things we can and can't say, things we can and can't do, places we can and can't go. And we need to make safe places. I don't want safe places. I want kids with memories of the time their idiot father strapped a jet engine to their tricycle and tried to drive it down the way without hurting anyone other than himself. Well, trying not to hurt himself too, of course. You know, I think most men just want to go back to being happy and having the simple, disconnected garage where they could just go in and focus on fixing a problem or making society or their family's life somewhat better. Sometimes looking through old popular mechanics magazines make me feel like there's potential that we lost. Not a potential with electronics, not a potential with mechanics, but a potential for the humans who use them and how they choose to use them. I'm starting to feel strongly that we've chosen to use them in ways, some of us, a small percentage of us, have chosen to use them in ways that they can take away power and control from other people. While some people just use it, they just want to get by. They just freaking want to get by. But what I'm also seeing is there's just not enough to get by anymore for the young guy. Like, let's say a young guy wanted to get into this stuff. You have to come from generational wealth or be really lucky to be put in a financial position where you could be around all of these things and have the ability to use all of these tools. But there's potential, there's hope. I'm being far too negative. Things will get better, things will change, and it's always darkest before the light, right? Yeah. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's it from me, Nev from Nev's Tech Bits. Thanks for joining me on this adventure. Popular Mechanics, 1981, back before the internet was a big deal. Have a good one, folks.